Hi everyone and welcome to NBS E.L.E.V.A.T.E, the first ever podcast hosted by the NBS brand ambassador community. We're super excited to have all of you join us today. This is the first time we're ever trying something like this, and we're really excited to have some of our esteemed faculty talk to us and you guys about our master's programs and offer you some cool insights into what happens behind the scenes at NBS as well.
So in today's episode, we're speaking with four of our professors from our flagship programs. First, we'll dive into the Master of Science in Marketing Science and Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Later, we'll also be joined by professors from the MACC program, that's Masters in Accountancy, and the MFE program, that's the Masters in Financial Engineering.
So let's start it by welcoming the first two professors. Thank you for joining us, Professor Gemma and Professor Theo. Could you please start by introducing yourself first? Professor Gemma, could you go first?
Yes, I'm Professor Gemma Calvert. I'm a neuroscientist by training, and I teach on the Masters in Marketing Science here, and my course is on consumer neuroscience and neuromarketing.
Hi, so my name is TT, and I'm focusing on AI. I'm teaching machine learning, big data, and artificial intelligence.
Awesome. I mean, both of them sound like really interesting modules. Professor Gemma, I actually have the honor of being in your class, so I know just how interesting it is. So I think just to start off with, we'd love to get a little bit of an overview of your programs. How do you generally take your modules? I'm sure prospective students would love to hear what an average class sitting with you would look like.
Okay, well, our program has been very carefully crafted to be at or in alignment with the forefront of commercial marketing practice, and of course that means that we're integrating AI in many of our modules, which include things like digital marketing, marketing sustainability, as well as specialist courses like consumer neuroscience, like ethnography, and marketing to consumers in the tech era.
Yeah, as for MSBA, my course actually focusing a lot on AI and machine learning, and we have many relevant industry cases solving real industry problem.
Okay, that's super interesting. Do you feel like any of these modules or extra projects that you do with the students, do you feel like they align very differently from what other programs offer? In other schools? Like, how do you think it differentiates, from what other programs are offered at different business schools?
Well, there's quite a number of USPs I think that we have. Firstly, we are very practice-oriented.
Yeah.
And many of our group assessments are sponsored by industries like Unilever, Shiseido, Mont Blanc, just to name but a few. And I think this really helps students to feel that the work that they're actually doing in class has a real commercial value. Of course, we have a very comprehensive curriculum, and it's very tech-focused, so our modules cover like AR, VR, and AI in marketing. What else? We're very consumer-centric, so of course we are unique in offering worldwide, as far as I know, a core module in consumer neuroscience and neuromarketing, and our faculty publish in high-profile journals in consumer psychology and neuroscience, and that feeds into the course. So you're looking at a bunch of students getting really first-hand insights of real importance to marketing as they come hot off the press.
That's good for me to know. What about you, Prof?
Yes, as for MSBA, we work with industry partner closely to apply AI, machine learning, analytics. Examples are banks, consulting firm, etc. And we also differentiate ourselves from others by having this data analytics practicum that we sending students to work in companies during daytime.
Okay, that's really interesting. So I think to all the prospective students who are tuning in and listening, what they're basically telling you is you are going to be at the cutting edge of technology and business, so make sure you're applying to NTU. There's a lot we have to offer. I think some of the other questions that the other students also had is that, obviously career outcomes are a very big part of like deciding which business school you want to go into, what kind of trajectory does that generally offer them. So what industries do you generally see students go into with business analytics?
Yeah, so mainly I would say finance and technology that take up about 50%, and the rest including logistic, some management like human resource, etc.
Okay. And
For our marketing students, it's quite diverse. So I think they pursue roles in things like marketing data analytics and sustainability, obviously marketing management across diverse industries such as technology, FMCG sector, of course, and sustainability. And I think our program really aims to prepare them with new opportunities for things like AI personalization, and in this, MarTech and other areas which are trending and actually aligning with, what's going out there in marketing practice.
okay, that's interesting.
For the MSc in Business Analytics, some students ask if internships are offered. Could you tell us more about this?
Yes, we actually have credit-bearing internship, and we call that module is Data Analytics Practicum, and that will be working full-time in a company, and then evenings you have to attend courses.
That sounds very hectic, Prof. I hope it's fun as well.
Yes, so you only need to come back once or twice evenings.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so don't worry, you're not going to be sitting in the class the entire time.
Yes.
You'll actually have practical industry exposure, and you basically get the best of both worlds. I
Yes.
think that's what Prof is essentially trying to sum up. So I think this is a little bit more on an open end, but I do think that NBS also has like a very diverse classroom, right? Like I think we have students who come from absolutely different backgrounds. We have like really different nationalities, people from like all age groups as well, right? How do you think that contributes to a classroom environment? Like how does, personally for you as a teacher, how do you think that helps with your classroom teaching?
Well, I think it provides a very multicultural environment in which to learn. And I think the students learn from each other and they become kind of market ready. In a globalized world as we have today, they have to navigate cultural differences in both expression and attitudes. And this is one of the reasons why we place a lot of emphasis on group-based activities.
Yeah.
So we ensure that there's lots of different people coming in from different backgrounds, different cultures, different countries, all working together to solve problems.
Yeah.
So I think it's really helpful going forward in their career.
Yeah. Prof?
Yes, I think the diversity helps them a lot because when they go to work, they're going to face the same thing. There's a lot of diversity among their colleagues. So yes, when we form groups, we also try to mix different students from different background in one group so that they can learn more about diversity.
Yeah. I think it's actually very interesting that we touched upon this, but because I think as like current students ourselves, I think I'm from the marketing science program and Patrick is in the MBA program. We do work with like a diverse group of students in every module that we do. So it's been so interesting for me because I think I'm getting perspectives from people who were like born and raised only in China and they've like used such different social media platforms their whole life, and I've used such different social media platforms. So I think when I'm having like collaborative conversations with them, we have absolutely different conversations about, or perspectives about what works and what doesn't. So I think in terms of diversity, we can definitely, as current students, also confirm that, I think having a diverse class adds to the entire learning experience, not just coming from the professors, but also from your peers as well. Yeah. Anything to add on, Patrick?
Yeah, I agree because I'm in the MBA program and we have students from many nationalities. So it's a good perspective to work with that many students from different backgrounds. So I think that helps with your future career and also your future studies. So I think because Singapore is a very diverse country, so being in Singapore, it's a good way to know about this world, how it works. So you're not just hanging out with the friends from your own country, but you're hanging out with friends from different nationalities. So yeah, I agree with what you said.
Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely. And I think to add on to that as well, I think especially for our master's programs, we do have like a very varied range of students within the class. How do you think, Professor Gemma, this program is helpful for like a fresh graduate versus someone who's coming in with, say, like, you know, a little bit more experience in their portfolio?
Well, I think one of the things that I've noticed and is very heartwarming as a professor is to see, as you mentioned, the friendship groups form amongst people from very different cultures. And but of course they're all roughly of the same age, so our average age is around 23 for the masters. I think if you're thinking about doing advanced education with, say, 5 to 10 years of work experience, perhaps you could consider maybe our MBA program is probably a little bit more appropriate.
Makes sense. Prof. Theo?
Yes, so likewise, same. Majority of our students are fresh grads for MSBA, and our average also is about 23, 24. So usually work experience, at most I would say 3-4 years of working experience in our cohort.
Okay, interesting. So, I mean, just for a prospective student to get a little bit more of an idea, what kind of a profile or how do you think a prospective student could actually maximize their chances of getting into NTU? I mean, obviously it is like a really prestigious school. A lot of people have a lot of queries all year round about how to go about their applications. What are some of the recommendations that you would give to a prospective student so they could actually maximize their chances of getting into the program and also making the most of it?
Well, okay, so to start with the academic scores, I mean, they're important, but things like GRE and GMAT is not a compulsory component for applying to our Masters in Marketing Science. Having said that, if you've got it, of course, it will strengthen your application.
Yeah.
But we also value internship experience and also your ability to contribute to the diversity of the class. So in sum, have a go and definitely apply.
Okay.
Yes. So academic is still important component. So the undergrad results. In addition, I would say internship is very important. Internship experience, and for AI, there's a lot of external courses that the student actually can take other than their own undergrad program. That can help as well.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Anything to add on, Patrick?
I just have one question. So like if there's a student who didn't have any experience, like say someone who didn't have experience in marketing and want to transition into marketing and is applying for this program, do you have any suggestions for this kind of student?
It really depends on the background they have, because I think a lot of marketing includes psychology. So perhaps if you're coming in from a psychology background, you will already be well versed with some of the principles that we teach on the course. If it's very diverse, I'm not entirely sure. I think you might want to speak to our administration about that. I'm not sure, but I guess you'd have to do what you can to strengthen your application and perhaps, you know, at least have 2 or 3 years of experience in a marketing role.
Okay.
But I think just as like current students ourselves, we can definitely tell, I think our average cohort for any of our master's programs, it's so diverse. We have like people from, you know, really different backgrounds. Like in fact, I have classmates who've done a little bit of finance and accounting, but they've decided to pivot into marketing. So they're choosing to do this. So I don't think there's any like hard and fast rule that you need to come from, you know, a specific background. But I think it's more about what is your future intention for wanting to move into a different field, and what, like, you know, is your motivation strong enough to actually want to pivot into that field. So I think that plays a huge role for prospective students especially as well. But yeah, I mean, if it makes anyone feel better, I think most of our class is fresh graduates, like Prof mentioned, and we're all here to learn as much as we possibly can. So even if you are starting from ground zero, I think we have great faculty who will make sure you get to level 10, so you don't have to worry about that. So okay, I think that's it today for with Professor Gemma and Prof. Theo. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
we
so
really
much.
appreciate it, and we hope to see more prospective students coming into your classes in the next coming year.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I know it's been a very, very, very long day for everyone sitting here. We must thank our faculty for taking the time to do this. Post-working hours, staying so late on campus, not a fun activity for anyone, but honestly, our professors are such gems. They've really taken the time out after I've hounded them down with multiple emails, and they've decided to give us the time of their day today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's okay. We are full of energy at the beginning of the year.
That's good to hear.
I'm very glad to be here.
Okay, so let's start with our podcast today. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Yang and Professor Goh. Could you start by introducing yourself first? Professor Goh, you
Sure.
can start first.
My name is I'm Prof. Goh. I teach in the Master of Accountancy program, Master of Science in Accountancy. I'm an accountant by training, so I started as an auditor, later pivoted to run my own business. Then I settled down teaching in the university. I started teaching in the audit module, and then I pivoted into the analytics, and now I teach in the sustainability module.
Okay.
That's quite a long journey you've had, Prof. Dr. Yang?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Yang Ye, or Dr. Yang. I teach in the Master of Financial Engineering program. Actually, I'm not a full faculty at NBS, and I'm a financial professional by myself. I'm still working during the daytime and teaching the master program in the nighttime. So I started teaching since 2011. It's been quite a long time since then. I started with one small module, and now I cover 5 modules in total. And basically all the programming related and also data analytics and numerical methods are under me.
Wow, very
Thank you for your
So
introduction.
Dr. Yang is making a lot of money out in the industry.
Yes.
But I
Working-
think for the financial engineering students, he's the perfect person
Yes.
because he's really going to tell them how to make it work in the industry and also come back and do
Yeah.
well at
I
academics.
feel that I need to contribute back to the community.
yeah, doing 2 jobs at the same time. Thank you for introduction. So could you tell us more about your program, Professor Goh? Could you
Sure.
start first?
Ours is an accountancy program. The beauty of it is Singapore is an accountancy hub. So therefore, we attract a lot of accountants, a lot of businesses wanting to do a professional business, professional practice in Singapore. And also, our Nanyang Business School has been running an accountancy program for almost 5 decades. So therefore, in terms of our curriculum design, in terms of our industry outreach, recognition, we have got the brand name. So and there again, being a business school in the heart of situated in the technology university allows us to infuse technology within our curriculum.
I see. Thank you.
And
Dr. Yang?
Sure. I think the master program in financial engineering and NBS has been around for a long time. I probably is one of the first in this region. And I follow the same line as the Prof. Goh, is that the Singapore, besides the accounting, the Center for Accounting, is a financial is a financial center, and the ranking of Singapore has been going up years after years. So the Master of Financial Engineering program kind of benefit from that, and also it contributing to that as well by contributing the talents and students, the graduates to the Singapore's financial industry. So the financial engineering program centers around the financial markets and starts with the understanding and also analysis of the financial products on the financial markets. And then the graduates can then venture into different roles in the financial institutions, be it in a bank, in a funds, in a prop trading house, or commercial trading houses, in different kind of roles, from trading, from risk management to operations tech.
I see.
Okay, that's so Dr. Yang, just to add on to what you had mentioned before, you said this is one of the first few programs that's been introduced
I would say in this hemisphere.
That's super interesting. So I think that itself would be like a key differentiator for the program. But in what other ways do you think this stands out from other programs being offered at other business schools now?
Sure. I think for the program here at NBS builds a very solid foundation in the mathematics, the statistics, the programming, and the finance, which I call them the pillars, the 4 pillars of the financial engineering.
Okay.
And yet, the curriculum has been innovatively designed so that it can put everything fit into a one-year curriculum. And then it even has a CMU, which is the Carnegie Mellon University, the renowned university in both computer science and also financial engineering. And there's about 2 months staying there and studying there. So I don't know how amazingly that how many things, so many things were packed into this program and gave a student such a wonderful learning journey.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds I think very intense, but a lot of learning, I think, in a very quick span of time from what I can gauge. Nice. Professor.
Sure. Our Master of Accountancy program is unique. It's really one of the very few unique product that we have. There are 2 tracks. Again, we have a general track that prepares our graduate to be in the business of to be a chartered accountant. Can be in a tax, audit, or financial services. And then we also have a separate track called data analytics track. So for those who are keen to pursue greater in-depth in the area of analytics, which is really the mega trend now. So we do have a general track, we do have data analytics tracks. Having said that, as I said earlier on, we have infused technology in almost every of our tracks and courses. So every of our students go through a forensic accounting and digital forensic course, and it's something very uniquely NBS. We also have got data analytics and machine learning in the context of accounting. So therefore, it's very exciting. Of course, the other mega trend that we're talking about is sustainability. So we have also infused sustainability within many of the modules, and we have got a separate an ESG and sustainability reporting module really to prepare our students for the future skills.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting that you mentioned that, Prof, because even I think in all the other master's program, I think sustainability is at the core of pretty much everything that we study. And also considering like it is one of the core values of NBS and NTU as well. I think we really do channel that, in every discipline possible while we're discussing whether it's marketing, accountancy, any program that we do. So I think we had a couple of students who obviously have a little bit more, prospective students, who have a slightly more experience in their forte, wondering if these programs would be a good fit for them. How do you think this program would benefit someone who's a fresh graduate versus, say, someone who's coming in with, 5+ or like 10+ years of work experience? Dr. Yang.
I think the program, I've over the years, I have seen changes. So it was started with engineering students with a background, students with engineering background at start, and if they want to converting to finance, and especially quantitative finance world, and this program was for them. But over the years, I think we have students with demographic changing, and we have students from business, which a bit less engineering background, but rather from the finance world or from a banking background. They start to join, and also I find that they also enjoy the program a lot, from learning the math, learning the programming, and see how they can really I would say like putting a jigsaw into their mind about to fitting to their existing knowledge. I feel that the financial engineering program has so many elements touching different elements in mathematics, statistics, programming, and finance. That whoever has some background, and I think mostly a drive and a curiosity to learn, will find that these find pieces will fit into their mind, and there will be whatever pieces, and they will basically prepare them for the work they are going to do.
Wow, very interesting. Professor Goh.
Interesting. Good question. Actually, we have a good mix of students. Of course, the bulk of them are fresh graduate or graduate who has just or student who just graduated for a year. They could be accounting students wanting to deepen their accounting knowledge. They could be business students. Interestingly, we also got students who are totally not in a business arena. They could be doing science. They could be doing a language. What we do is we do have preparatory course for these new applicants who are not accountancy, who do not have the accountancy base. We also have the other fraction that you mentioned about those who have been in the industry, have been working for a couple of years. In fact, we love to have these group of students to join the class so that there are diversity. People who are fairly fresh from the undergraduate program, and those who have worked in the workforce for 5 years, 10 years, that come to the class with a different perspective. In fact, these are the students that tend to be very clear, very focused what they want. They tend to do very well.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's true.
Just on top of this question, who do you think will be an ideal candidate for your program?
Ideal candidate, really, I think if you ask me, if for somebody who wants to do a master, a postgraduate program, really the goal, the mindset must be right.
Yeah.
So the ideal student that we are looking for are people who are coming into the program for the right reason, right?
Yeah.
Either you want to deepen your knowledge in the area of accounting, or you really want to know more about sustainability analytics. You have done a business program, you find that you need to specialize into something more in depth. This is a program, which will probably meet your need. So really, the person with the right mindset, right goal to join us in the program.
I see.
Okay, that's interesting. So I mean, just from like a prospective student's point of view, or like a student who is joining these programs, considering again that both of you have highlighted that Singapore is the financial hub of Asia specifically, and I think it's been booming for a very long time now. What kind of industry exposure in terms of projects or in terms of modules do these students get when they join these master's programs?
I feel that I totally agree with what Prof. Goh has said about the right mindset, and particularly for financial engineering program. Besides what I have said, probably and mentioned earlier about engineering, maths backgrounds, I want to particularly emphasize communication. Because finance is a word that always, because I come from the professional world, working world, is that I always wanted to, could you explain this in 3 minutes? Could you explain this in layman term? And even just now, Prof. Goh wanted me to explain what is financial engineering is about, right? So being very clear in concepts, and then be able to communicate in words, in writing, in presentation is a very strong, very good points for that. So I feel that coming back to your question, that whoever has been want to sharpen and feel that this edge, but yet to be sharpened on this edge, could come to the program.
Are there any specific or interesting industry partners that either of you have worked with on like projects with your students over the last few years that you've been with the program?
We do. In fact, the fact that Prof. Young is teaching in this program, we do have a lot of industry practitioners who are teaching in our classes. So this gives the student the industry experience, industry exposure, and our program is designed such that we bring in real industry project, real industry people to really augment. So it's not an undergraduate program where you learn concept. It's the real world. Now you got to apply concept to real world project, real world context.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's very true, and I think it applies across all the master's programs as well, where I feel like for every module that we've actually had so far, we've actually worked on like a real world industry project, and I think that for us has been like some of the most insightful sessions we've had, because not only are we getting the industry expert from like faculty like you, but we actually also get to be like on the business side of things with the clients to really see how things move in the real world, and I think that just really enables us to learn as quickly as possible.
And then to add on to Prof. Young, communication is really a very big part of our program, because really we are a graduate program. We are really equipping our graduate to immediately contribute in the workforce. So therefore our program is designed along the line of strategic thinking, communication, presentation, negotiation. So our student has got quite a fair bit of soft skill exposure, soft skill training to prepare them for in the workforce.
So I think.
I definitely agree. Like communication is a very key part of your work, regardless what specialization you're in. And Dr. Young, I'm just curious. I know you're working at a hedge fund, so do you discuss your work with your students, and how do you bring your industry knowledge into the classroom?
By confidential terms, and I'm not supposed to discuss any of the current going on, but broad terms that what is going on in the financial world. I mean, just now before we start, you asked me what is the interpretation for the Trump administration coming to at the end of this month.
Yeah.
That can be discussed in the class, and and also what happened in the last 2 years that the Federal Reserve has been hiking the interest rate. That has brought very profound impact to the financial markets. That has been discussed in my class as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I think what we can definitely gauge is that it's not just a one-way dialogue where the prof is going to be telling you need to do X, Y, Z. The whole, like every program that we have, all of our masters, they're extremely immersive, extremely submersive. You have to fully be a part of every industry project, actively take part in the classes as well, I think, to make full use of everything that NBS has to offer. And I think the key takeaway will definitely be communication, which is, I think, an important life skill in general, but definitely at business school, I think it's one of the most important skills that is also built upon while you're here.
Yeah, one interesting episode I can say that because interest rate over the last 10 plus years has been going through the low interest rate environment, and even to a certain period of time there was negative interest rate, and these 2 years has been positive interest rate.
Okay.
So I would say during my years of teaching, and I still some years I was talking about more on the models and the relevant financial knowledge that relates to the low interest environment.
Yeah.
And then over the years, I'm changing my notes to talk about positive interest rate models and the financial knowledge.
Yeah.
So things are changing. And
So as you can see, Prof is giving you a little bit of a sneak peek into what the class will look like. It's extremely, I think, tailored to the current market trends.
Yes.
So you're always going to, you're always going to be at the top of whatever's happening in the industry at any given moment. Okay, thank you. This was a fantastic conversation. I think we just have one final question for you, which is obviously for prospective students coming in. What kind of a profile do you think would be a best fit for this program? Or rather, how do you think a student could maximize their chances of getting into these highly sought after programs at NBS?
So I mean, like I mentioned just now, it's really about the goal, the plan ahead. So when we interview the students, and a lot of time we look at whether you are coming into the program in the right mindset.
Yeah.
Right? You're not just doing another degree. You're just not accumulating another piece of paper, but rather you're in for a real purpose. You're here to learn. You're here to contribute. These are the students that we would love to have you in our class. Just to add on the last bit about, we talk about the program, we talk about the communication. There's also another plus point why you must come to NBS, because this is really a very beautiful campus. Full of greenery.
Such a good point, Prof.
Yeah,
I feel like no one's mentioned that.
We are very proud that in NTU we have got 8 of the 16 zero energy buildings in Singapore.
That's true.
And then down here you see the east and the west.
Everything. So it's like, it's sustainability not just in teaching but also in practice, because we actually embody that in every way possible. That's actually such a fantastic point, because I personally, I love my walk to my morning class every day. Like, I wake up and I'm like, oh no, 9 a.m. class, but honestly the walk is so nice because the campus is so beautiful. That's actually a great add-on for why NBS specifically, because the business school is like Gaia is an amazing building, is definitely a major add-on. Any final statements, Patrick?
I think that's all our questions so far.
I think our professors have been extremely gracious and helpful with the conversation, and I think you've given a lot of prospective students a little bit of insight into what it is like to be sitting as a student in your class. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the session.
We really
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure after all the information you've given, we'll see a lot more applications coming through now, because they'll want to come and sit in your classes.
Hope to see you.
Hope to see you too.
And for everyone else who's tuned in today, thank you so much for your time. We also will be having our next episode coming up on January 15th, where we will be addressing some more questions for the MBA program specifically. And we will also have some of the esteemed faculty from the MBA programs addressing all of your questions, giving you some more insights, and just letting you know how life is at NBS. So we hope to see you then. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.